There's a pattern on Wall Street right now that sounds almost too simple to be real, but people can't stop talking about it. When Trump names a company, the stock tends to move: Intel, Dell, Micron. So the question everyone's debating is, what does the government back next? Let me walk you through what's actually happening, because this isn't really a story about stock picks. It's bigger than that. The US government just did something it rarely does. Not a subsidy, not a speech. They put cash directly into companies, taking actual equity stakes. This time, the target was quantum computing. The Commerce Department announced a $2 billion investment into quantum, funded through the CHIPS Act, justified on national security grounds. The logic: quantum computing is critical to America's AI edge, so the government has a reason to own a piece of it. Now, $2 billion isn't enormous, and it's split across 9 companies, so this isn't about backing one winner. It's about backing the whole industry. Each company gives up only around 1%. They're spreading seed money and saying, "We don't know who wins, but we'll help you try." The biggest chunk, half of it, $1 billion, went to IBM. IBM matched it with $1 billion of its own to build a dedicated quantum chip foundry. Think of it as the TSMC of quantum. They literally said that's the goal. But here's the real takeaway, and why it's worth understanding even if you never touch a quantum stock. This administration is treating certain industries as strategic assets and putting government money behind them as an investor, not just a supporter. It started with Intel back in August 2025, then rare earths, then lithium, now quantum. The through line is national security: foundries, raw materials, memory chips, quantum, anything America doesn't want to depend on other countries for. Listen to the Intel CEO. He says he reports to Trump regularly. CEOs don't normally brief presidents. Why does he? Because Intel is being managed like a national strategic asset. The mission: revive American chip manufacturing. He called foundries one of America's national treasures. And the White House is openly highlighting the returns. Their own site notes Intel's stock is up roughly 6 times since the government invested. And because the government holds equity, those gains are framed as actually helping reduce the national debt. Here's the line that genuinely surprised me. Trump said, "America has $38 trillion in debt." But if the government invests in company equity the way it did with Intel and earns top venture capital level returns, it could help shrink the deficit. That's not a politician talking. That's a venture capitalist talking. The president is describing the US government like an investment fund. That's the mindset shift, and it's why this approach likely keeps going. So which companies get named? It tends to follow the money. Dell: Trump said the company was great at a May event. The stock climbed after. Context matters there. Dell's founders are major donors. Micron: he praised it at a New York event right as they announced massive US factory builds. Micron's position is notable because it's the only US-based memory manufacturer, so on national security and supply chain grounds, it gets government attention. And the next frontier? 2 themes keep coming up: nuclear power and space. The Commerce Secretary just posted an AI-generated clip about satellites becoming orbital data centers, thanking SpaceX. With a SpaceX IPO on the horizon and the Golden Dome defense project already in motion, space defense is being talked about as the next strategic asset in line. So here's the framework, and this is the part that actually matters. Forget chasing individual names. The thing worth watching is what America feels it has to protect. Semiconductors, rare earths, nuclear, quantum, and now maybe space. When a foreign competitor is catching up, the government tends to push harder. That's the pattern worth understanding, not as a tip, but as a lens for how this market is moving. To be clear, none of this is advice to buy anything. It's a pattern worth understanding, and always do your own research. That's the bigger picture. I'm Sol, your daily US market story in under 3 minutes. Markets move fast. I make them make sense. So tell me, which theme do you think gets backed next? Quantum, nuclear, or space? Curious how you're reading it. And if this made the market make a little more sense, share it with someone who's trading right now. They'll want to see this. Drop a like so it reaches more people, and subscribe so you don't miss what matters next.